7th annual ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest World Finals in St. Petersburg, Russia, hosted by the St. Petersburg National Research University of IT, Mechanics and Optics, sponsored by IBM. This is Icpc Live, provided to you by Yandex. My name is Fredrik Niemle. I'm going to be your host today, and with me is...
Hi, my name is Alina. I work in Yandex, and I will have Frederick today. And добро пожаловать в Санкт-Петербург.
Also with us today is...
Hello, Charles Neville. I'm another Yandexoid.
So, today is the World Finals. Finally, it's all going to come to an end, and we're going to see who is the best programmers in the world. I know I'm not even in the contest. I'm just sitting here, and I feel the tension. We are actually quite close to the floor where the contest is going to happen. Maybe we can get some pictures from that. And we can actually hear Bill Poucher, the executive director of the Icpc, and he's edging on the teams and talking with them and just increasing their tension, which is really nice of them because they are probably fairly tensed at the moment. This is a very important competition, and you know, in an upcoming 5 hours, there's still 26 minutes to go until the start of the contest. But in the next 5 hours, we will see who is the best team in the world. So, can we see some pictures from the floor, maybe, and see what's happening down there? So this is the teams processing in to the team area. You can see how a lot of them are touching the prize. That's the first prize. That's the actual Icpc first prize. I'm a little bit surprised because I thought it was well known that it's bad luck to touch it before you won it.
We heard Bill screaming out speaking over the microphone, explaining that in the whole history of the Icpc, every team in the World Finals has always touched the prize. So, local traditions, local traditions.
So, as you can see, this year's contest area, this is actually a hockey rink. This is called the, what's the Russian name of this? Jubileyny, meaning jubilee in English?
Yes.
Roughly,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So Jubileyny hockey arena in St. Petersburg, and I mean, these pictures here look really good.
Yes, it's very impressive.
But believe me, when you're here, when you're actually here, oh yeah, this is a good picture. It's an excellent venue. I mean, honestly, I think this is the best. I think this is the best World Finals venue I have seen.
Yeah, what are your predictions? Are we backing?
Well, predictions. Well, you know, if I have to predict one team, you know, I have to be boring. I have to say ITMO.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just so incredibly good. I mean, they won, was it 4 or 5 times already? And you know, this year they're at home. I'm sure they trained even harder. So they are definitely contender. I would be shocked if they are not in the top 4, right? But there are a bunch of other really good teams out there. I don't have any of my teams at the finals this year, so I don't know who I'm rooting for. Maybe ETH Zurich, maybe from Europe.
But I have.
Yes, you do. Let's hear it.
It's a team of Moscow State University, my university, and I wish luck them.
Do you have a favorite team?
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. There are 2 teams from Australia, and it would be pretty churlish to try and choose one and leave out the other. But they're both from Sydney, and I'm from Melbourne, which means
Is that like
anyone but them.
anyone but them?
Natural reaction. I find it hard to actually pick a team. I mean, there's a whole lot of teams. I'd love to see something exciting come out of Canto, just because I have a little soft spot for Vietnam.
Right.
There's a bunch of other teams that would be interesting to see come up. I have a suspicion that we might see some Russians and some Americans and some Chinese sitting up the top of the table.
Right. Well, I mean, usually
just for a change.
Russia and China and Poland would usually be the powerhouses
Yep.
around here, and you know, really ITMO I think is a really strong contender. Yeah, this is the what do you call it, jumbotron?
It looks very spectacular.
Right. They didn't have the countdown there. That's surprising. They do have the
This
countdown
is
on the
Yeah.
wall though, and you can see it's 2 minutes 25 seconds to go, meaning my clock was a little bit off.
everybody getting ready to get their hands on the problems.
Right.
And they're not allowed to touch anything. And what will be if they will touch?
Well,
We-
I guess the rule is they will be disqualified, but you know, well, they will be harshly glared at.
Officially, they
at
will be
least.
disqualified if
Right.
they touch anything.
We'll see, but just don't do it. That's my tip. Just don't do it. We got John Clevenger standing to the left there, probably talking about, I don't know.
The just,
Get
I mean, the
ready to go.
security, as you started to mention, there's quite a lot of security goes into making the questions secured, making sure that the judges aren't talking to the contestants. They actually secure the program, the terminals, the workstations, so
Oh,
that
yes.
they're making sure the
Yes.
contestants aren't talking to their friends, each other, beyond the team.
There's an entire group back in the systems room which is only working on monitoring all network traffic. So, you know, if you're a team, I dare you to go around. Well, actually, do not dare you. But, you know, they will actually probably notice if you do. There is fairly often, I don't think it happened this year, but it's fairly often in the dress rehearsal, some team that thinks it's funny to ping another machine, and they do. And they are detected, and they get yelled at, and they don't do it again. But this year hasn't been in it. So Yegor is actually already in the studio with us. Do you have any comments so far?
Well, no. I think just there wasn't yet enough do not touch anything.
Oh, right. I agree. I agree. John Clevenger is actually known as the "don't touch anything" guy.
Yes, on my world final in 2007 there was like 12 or 30 about.
Right. Right. It would actually be lovely if we could continue to see from the floor. I think that's the most interesting thing right now, to see what the teams are doing. But yeah, I agree with you, Jaguar. It's a little bit too little. Don't touch anything. So, Jaguar, what are you thinking? Do you have any
Forecast maybe.
favorite teams you would?
Well, if we barring obvious choice of the ITMO team, I think there is actually two teams that can win versus ITMO. It is University of Tokyo team and St. Petersburg State University team.
Do you know what numbers those are?
Not really.
I noticed on your blog you picked the St. Petersburg team as a pretty good chance.
Yes, because they have high level, but also they're quite unstable, so they can from that high level go to the very, very, very high level, and that I think would be enough to beat ITMO. They're the only teams in the World Finals that had won versus ITMO team this year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
When was that?
In
In
Ukraine.
the Ukrainian Grand Prix, I think, of the Open Cup.
Right. Right. That's very interesting. Yeah. So there are a few teams that could do this, but ITMO is definitely.
There is also a couple of teams that are not present because they either not student teams or had not qualified, but there's only one here that had done this.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
what about Chinese teams maybe?
Now the contest starts in 15 seconds. Just let's take a look here.
Getting ready for the countdown.
That's the balloons that will be released.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now
The balloons are
the
going
balloons
up.
are going up. The
That-
hands, we can't see them, but we can be sure that the hands are going out for those problems.
Definitely. And I do hope we will get a copy of the problem sets to the studio at some point. That was a shout out to production. We're now 20 seconds in. Diego, when do you think we'll see the first solution?
That's, I think, about 15 minutes from the start.
Right.
Well, on some other contests it may be earlier, but World Finals is always, teams are quite nervous. They probably can't find the easiest problem
Right.
from
Actually,
the start.
the easiest problems is usually not that easy too. So
Yes, but there's always some problem that would be solved by any team that want something
Right.
that have some
Right.
contention for the title.
right. Well, I do. I mean, I'm sure you've been a judge before, and I've been a judge at other competitions. And I mean, as a judge, you always try to make a problem set such that every team solves at least one problem.
Yes.
Right. That's one design goal for the judges. You also want, preferably, all problems to be solved.
Yes, and also not all problems to be solved by one team.
Right. That is actually very important because you want to have a good differentiator. Whenever a team solves everything, you kind of hit the roof of
Yes,
the contest, and that's not very good.
that's right.
So, absolutely. Okay, so the contest has started. If I had to force you to pick a team from the other areas, let's start with North America. What would you go with there? I'm
From
putting you
North
on the spot
America,
here.
I probably would. Well,
MIT?
I have one team, yes, MIT, that I know participants of. There is Ilya Rosenstein, who actually was world finalist from the Moscow State University,
Ah,
and he is now working on PhD in MIT, and so decided to participate once more.
oh, excellent. So we got two Moscow State teams. One is called Moscow
Wow.
State, and one is called MIT. That's
But if I had to pick one, I would pick Stanford.
okay. Why would you pick Stanford over MIT this year?
Well, because I think the Stanford has always sent good team for the finals. That's the main reason.
Okay, well, that is a good reason. Okay, so Stanford is a good tip from North America's. What about Europe except for Russia?
I
Warsaw?
would pick Warsaw, yes.
Warsaw, yeah, that's kind of obvious choice. What else do we have? What about other teams from Asia apart from Tokyo?
National Taiwan University and Shanghai Jiao University.
Yeah, Shanghai Yaotong is. They have won twice in the past decade, right? I think.
Well, actually, they have world champion in their lineup
Right.
from 2008, I believe, or something like that.
Really? Why is he back now?
Well, I think there is some custom rule for Shanghai Jiao University that you can only participate in world final one time. But he was substitute for this team, and then they needed that substitute, so
Wow.
he is
That's
now
impressive if you have a
participating.
university where they have a rule you can only participate once and they're
I think
still
there
that
are
good.
several Chinese universities that had such a rule.
Right. But it's still impressive.
Yes.
We have the
Sounds
first solution.
good.
First solution.
Oh, first
National
solution.
Taiwan University solved problem low power. National Taiwan University, that's number 44. So we'll get team 44, a picture of them pretty soon. They solved the problem low power. And I still don't have a problem set, so I don't know what problem number that is. Do you know, Jigor? Did you grab one on your way up?
No,
No, you came up before.
No, you came up
yes,
before.
I came in before, and I believe all analysts that have access to the problems were locked.
It is problem F. So, and oh yeah, I could have seen that on the scoreboard. Stupid.
So let's welcome Bill in studio, and we can ask him a few questions.
This is National Taiwan University. They have solved, okay, that's not right, because they have solved one problem, and they are in first place. Everybody else is in second place, because they're the only ones who got anything. This is still the only submission. No. Stanford University submitted on problem factors, and they got a runtime error on the second test case. So,
There you are. With that,
Hi Bill.
Oh, hi.
And welcome to Russia, welcome to St. Petersburg.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. Apparently, you even control the weather. So when we decided to go to the Peter and Paul Fortress, the sun turned out and the sky was beautiful and the weather was beautiful, and all of the folks in St. Petersburg have been welcoming us. It's great. When I go back to Texas, we're going to have to touch up our hospitality to meet St. Petersburg standards.
That's a pretty big call from a Texan.
Well, what can I say? We lead, then we follow, and then we lead, and then we follow. It's one of the great things of humanity that everyone helps you when they raise the bar of excellence.
Thanks. And my first question is about the role of Icpc movement. What you can say about it?
Well, people love to solve problems, and we're just very attractive to people who are natural-born problem solvers, sort of like there are some natural-born baseball stars in baseball. So we get together, we give them some really good problems to solve, and they come up with solutions for them. It's a little unnatural because probably never in your life have you been around someone who uses a computer the way that an author uses a pen. After all, the job is not to be busy with the pen. The author is to author a novel or a poem, and the pen is the mechanism by which they write it down. The difference is that the computer also, if you would, reads their poem, or if they're a musician, it plays their piece, you see. So what you're looking out there at are not typists. You can tell that because their hands are not on the keyboard.
Because they're not typing much.
No, they're composers. And composers ultimately commit what they've composed, you see, to musical notation. So they're annotating, if you would, what they have discovered.
We actually got another submission again from the university you mentioned, Moscow State University, submitted
Whoa.
problem F,
Oh, yeah.
but it was the wrong answer. And we got another one from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, still running, also wrong answer. I'm sorry, Bill. Let's continue.
No, I think, hey, you understand why I'm here. I like this. I love the contest so much that I don't mind making sure that the restrooms are used properly. Yeah, I do have a good seat, though. I get to see what's going on. It's very exciting to see. I would never try to predict who is going to medal in this competition. There were nearly 30,000 of the brightest students of computer science and computer engineering worldwide who were selected by their universities to compete in the regional competition. 30,000. And out of those, we selected 120 teams of 3, and they're here. They're the best of the best. And who's going to be the best of the best of the best? Well, they're working on it, but frankly, having a cold could make a difference between a gold and a bronze medal. They're that good.
University of Warsaw got it, and South China University of Technology is running it right now, and it's looking good.
All problem F?
All problem F. We got a bunch of submissions on problem F.
Now understand they're not doing problem A. They have read specifications for problem A, problem B, problem C, problem D, problem E, problem F, and how many ever else there are.
11 problems.
Okay, and
gone
then
through.
and they have in parallel, by parsing these out by whatever method.
And this looks good. Moscow State is submitting again. They passed 15 test cases, 20, 25. They're almost there. This looks very good. ITMA, by the way, submitted and failed on factors. There's another problem. I don't know the problem number. 2 more to go. Moscow State got it too. We've got Peking University. Now there's a lot of submissions on problem F. A lot of these teams that we expected. You didn't mention Peking University, but a lot of the others we mentioned is coming here. Peking got it wrong though, so I guess you're right. So there's a lot of action right now.
Yeah, because getting it right and getting it right, mean different things in different places. But in the Icpc, it has to work on all boundary conditions. In other words, it's not good enough that it works some of the time. It has to meet the exhaustive demands of the judges.
So is this level of programming, space shuttle right, or bank and hospital right, or website right? Where would you?
Well, you know, what can I say? People who buy that software need it, and they don't mind paying for software that's frankly modest at best. When we're saying right, we mean right to the highest academic standards that we know how to deliver. So right means, we're betting the reputation of the Icpc on it, right.
Okay.
That's pretty right.
Now we got the second problem solved by St. Petersburg ITMO. This is what we're seeing here. They solved problem D. Now everybody else in the top, the National Taiwan University, South China University of Technology, Warsaw, and Moscow State, they all solved problem F. But ITMO, they went for problem D. They failed one before they got it in, so they're in 5th place out of the 5 teams that solved anything at all. So that's interesting. It's got 2 problems that people are working on so far, F and D. And there's many of the teams that Igor mentioned are in the very top here, so seems like that was a good call. There's a lot of submissions coming in. It does seem like problem F is easier than the easiest problems we've seen in the past year. Are you possibly even looking at the problem set now, Igor?
No, actually, I tried to block from here. To be honest. So.
Are you broadcasting while we're broadcasting? That's wonderful.
Yes.
Say hi to your blog from me.
Okay.
So we had the first submission in already at 10 minutes. Now in the background here, you could see, before we switch to studio, hello, you could see what's called in the judging queue, which is where I'm getting my information, where you can see all the submissions coming in until they are being resolved, so we can see if they're right or wrong. Orlando Madrigal, I think.
Yep.
And it's executive director Jeff Donahue.
Yep.
It's also the Icpc News crew filming, and they're going out to the National Taiwan University to give them the first problem solved balloon, which is a special prize. This also includes a cash prize from UPE. Thank you, UPE. Of is it $1,000?
$1,500.
$1,500.
Yeah.
Hey. When I was in the contest, that's what you got for a bronze medal. But I think. So that's the first problem solved out of all problems to National Taiwan University. They also get a first to solve balloon because they were the first to solve problem F, obviously, because it was the first submission. And then they also get an ordinary blue balloon for the problem F. You can see here how they have one problem solved, and the score here is the sum of the time for every problem they have solved, plus 20 minutes for every incorrect submission they have done. And another guest coming in, welcome
Doug Heitzman.
Doug Heitzman from IBM.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very excited.
Good to hear. We're also very excited.
And welcome to St. Petersburg.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely beautiful. We're really enjoying ourselves.
So, as we know, IBM supported the Icpc contest for long years, about more than 10 years.
Yes, since 1997.
And what can you say? How contests changed for this time, or didn't change? Maybe.
How's it changed over
Yes.
the time? Well, the biggest change is just the size. We've grown about 1,100% since 1997, to the point where we almost engage approximately 30,000, almost 30,000 students from over 2,300 universities in 91 countries. So the size and the world scope is really the biggest change. The problems get harder every year, and the students get, frankly, smarter every year. So those are the biggest changes.
And from the point of view of industry, what do you think? Why supporting contests is very important for a community, for industry of technologies?
Sure. Well, I think there's really 3 fundamental reasons why this sponsorship is very important to our company. One of which is that this is obviously an extraordinarily attractive group of people to recruit from, and we're eagerly trying to communicate with these students and offer them positions of internships and employment at our company. This is obviously an extraordinarily elite group of problem solvers, and we do business all over the world in many, many different areas, and so we're always looking for the very best and the brightest. It's also important, I think, to shine a very bright light on these kinds of problem solvers as a means of promoting excellence in this field, and hopefully to inspire other students to pursue careers in science and mathematics and engineering, because frankly that is the lifeblood of our industry. And the reality is that, you know, we as a planet, as a society, face some very interesting challenges, and we've got some really big problems to solve. And so by shining a very bright light on elite problem-solving skill, we hope to make a societal contribution, because there's issues of pandemic disease spread, there's issues of dealing with building systems that help large cities and manage the process of urbanization. There's all kinds of really interesting issues and problems to solve. So sponsoring expertise and elite performance in this area, I think, makes a lot of sense.
We can now see in the screen we have a new problem that have been solved. I'm trying to find out which one. This must be Institute Technology Bandung from Indonesia. I hope I got that right. They solved problem. No, that was
I
D.
think it's University
Which
of
one is the
Maryland
new
J.
one?
I mean,
I
Maryland.
think it's the J for the University of Maryland.
Oh, okay. They're
So the
they're a
balloon-
little
the
bit
balloons are
behind.
behind
They're a
on the
bit behind.
programmers,
Okay, that was Maryland. University of Maryland refers to solve problem J. That's once again Orlando Madrigal. That's James Comer. Oh, and I don't know all the names. That must be Steve Bourne in the middle that you can't see, and Doug is to the right.
So yeah, Steve Bourne right in the middle there.
Right, perfect.
And Orlando.
Right. Okay. So there's a little bit of standstill in the scoreboard, and still 2 problems is the top result. So, Doug, I must say though that the IBM events this year has been as fantastic as ever.
Well, thank you.
So, I mean, this is, I think, my 13th World Finals.
Is it really? Wow. I think I've been to 11 of them. I've been the sponsorship executive for about 9 of them now. So it's always a thrill. Every year, I'm extremely proud of the team of IBMers that spend, you know, the better part of more than a year preparing for these. The logistics involved in moving people and equipment and machines and setting up venues and coordinating,
Right.
feeding people and all that stuff. It's a tremendous amount of work, and I'm extremely proud of the team that we have that's been doing it. And every year I just look so forward to joining this competition, to reconnecting with the friends that I've met and friendships I've developed over all these years, and truly inspired by just the raw potential that I see every year out on that contest floor. So
Right.
it's just a great thrill to be here.
Just a short, we got Warsaw solved problem C. They were the first ones. But I think what you're saying, Doug, is interesting, because I think IBM at the World Finals does more than you would think. I mean, it's not only the planning, logistics, it's a lot of the events, and a lot of the food is done by IBM. And that was excellent this year, by the way. But you also have people in the systems group and
right.
providing hardware for the contest itself and contest security. There's a lot of IBM employees out there.
Writing scoreboards.
Right, writing scoreboards, and we're going to see the resolver after the contest. That's one of your guys doing that. And
So here we have Warsaw.
they were the first to solve problem.
They was first to solve problem C, which
But it's not in
actually
there.
but that jumps them to rank number 1 on the ranking
I
table.
was actually on the floor right beside them when they solved that a few minutes ago, and it was really kind of funny because they all immediately jumped out of their seats and they all did high fives.
Right.
And then they grabbed the problem and they crunched it into a ball and threw it over their shoulder, and then started typing again. So it was kind of fun to see that.
Wonder if we can get that video. We're capturing videos like that. I would like to see that later. So I mean, IBM is doing all this wide variety of things and really covering all areas, which I think is really interesting. And a lot of people, I think, do not realize that.
Oh, absolutely. Most of the IBM team that's here, no one will ever see.
Right.
They're in rooms buried underneath mounds of cables and systems. We have a lot of systems here. We've got, many, hundreds and hundreds of systems and big racks and wiring.
Right.
And we flew them all in on planes, and we dealt with customs, and
Does
we've
it-
been setting it up here for almost a week.
Does
Right.
it get easier as you go on doing it, or do the challenges of each new place mean that it's really just?
I mean, there certainly is commonality.
Yeah.
We've got experience, and we learn each year. But every venue has its distinct challenges. The issues of setting up networks in a sports stadium here of the speed and caliber and durability that we require was a really significant challenge. And so we've been working on that problem for many months, frankly. So they really do amazing work. And every year it's different. When we were in Banff, Alberta, I walked into the room. It's a beautiful old hotel at Banff Springs. And my team was hanging out the window on ropes, wiring fiber optic cable on the outside of the building and swinging from window to window as they were stringing fiber cable to link all the systems.
I think your team set up.
Where do we get a job like that?
Well, IBM apparently.
From IBM.
Right.
We employ people like that.
I think that year when the IBM team set up connection to the Banff Hotel, that was
Oh, that's right.
bigger than what they had before.
Well, and we had to set up a microwave relay
Right.
system out the window with a straight line of sight to a telecommunications company, and so we were climbing up towers and stuff and hooking up dishes for a microwave relay system in order to get enough bandwidth into the hotel to support the competition. So it's an amazing amount of work, and they do a great job. I'm very proud of them.
And I think we should also especially mention the person that always refuses to come into our studio here, even though we always want to let her come in here and give her some credit. You know who I'm talking about.
I do. Brenda Chow is our senior manager in charge of pretty much the entire IBM team, and she works tirelessly to make all of this happen and coordinate all the resources. And she's incredibly humble, and she's always behind the scenes, but she deserves an awful lot of credit, and we're very proud of her.
Right, I totally agree. And she's the head for the celebration as well. And
That's right.
as usual, I have no idea
It's a
what's
big-
happening. Do you know?
I do. In fact,
Will you tell us?
No, I won't.
What?
Well, I'll tell you at the closing ceremony.
Oh, how nice of you.
You'll be the first to know.
I'll hold you to that
It'll
one.
be great fun. I'm really looking forward. I think everyone's going to really enjoy it.
Right. I believe that is probably the case. That's been the case the past several years. Thank you very much, Doug,
My
for coming
pleasure.
in and talking with us.
Thanks very much for having me.
It was great having you here. And we're back in the studio, and with me now we have a bunch of people. We have what we call the Icpc Live Analysts. These are the brains of the operation. They analyze the problems, they solve the problems, and they look at all the teams to find out what they're doing, what they're working on, and this is where we get all the information. This is where we got all the insights. So we got Fredrik Heinz, which is the lead of that organization. We got Jaap Eldering, we got Jakob Klugas, two of the analysts, and also to make this even worse for everybody involved, we got Derek Kisman, who's actually one of the judges, and he's not only one of the judges, he is the judge that won what was the name of the prize? The 2013, this year's Judge Award winner. So he's the best judge. So if these guys, the analysts are gonna go through a problem for us with a solution, and they haven't, they just read the problem for 10 minutes, and so, but they have the judge here who can correct them if you do any errors. Isn't this a lovely setup? Yes. This was totally unplanned, so that's perfect. Okay, let's see. Go for it.
So let me just start with problem D. It's called factors, and it's turned out to be one of the easiest problems. I think up to now there's been a number already. I don't know, you have probably better data, but there's already this is the highest solved problem up to now.
6 solved.
Yes. Okay. So what is the problem about? It's quite easy. You get a number, say in this case 20, and then you can look at kind of a possible way to factor this number into prime numbers. So one way to factor this number 20 is like saying writing it as 2 times 2 times 5.
Okay, wait a second. Production says that your sound is not coming in good. We need to get a mic in here real quick.
So then we
We need a
can
microphone.
take the opportunity to say that we have a new leader. So the St. Petersburg National Research University of IT Mechanics and Optics solved their 4th problem. So the local team is now in the lead with 4 solved problems after an hour. So which is pretty impressive, or very impressive.
This is a bit scary. We only got 11.
But
Yes.
what do you expect?
You have to explain yourself soon.
But we have been told that there are 3 really hard problems.
Okay.
So hopefully,
Hopefully that is
that
true.
will keep them busy for the next 4 hours.
We now have a microphone for Jaap, so
Okay, so I hope this works better. Okay, so the problem is here to factor numbers, and you can factor a number in well, different ways, because we're actually looking at the order that we write down the factorization. So as you see here, we can write it down in either, well, first 2 times 2 times 5, or 2 times 5 times 2, or 5 times 2 times 2. So this is 3 ways to factor this number. Oh, sorry, let me just put this down. And so in this case, we have 3 ways. And now this problem is asking the following. Given a number k, which describes the number of ways that you can factor a number, find the smallest number n, such that this n has precisely this k number of ways to factor it, to write the different possible ways of writing the factorization. And the way to solve this as well, I mean, yeah, and okay, I forgot about, yeah, so the bounds are such that these numbers, both k and n, are always guaranteed to be less than 2 to the power 63, which is a very kind of a large number. So you can't just try all of them. But, well, what you have to realize is that actually the only numbers that are relevant are about 40,000 numbers. So the way to look at this, well, of course, in the end, actually, what only is relevant is the kind of the powers of the prime factors. I mean, if we'd written, like, instead of 5, had written a 7 here, so we'd have gotten 28. We'd still have the same number of ways of factorization. So we can actually look at all possible, say, if I have 2 to the power p1 times 3 to the power p3 times 5, oh, sorry, p2, p3, and so on, up to a certain number of prime factors, then we're looking for these numbers p1 up to pn, such that well, the possible combinations of ordering them is going to be k, and that the total number sums up to n. And, well, then always the best solution, kind of if we want to find the minimum n, then always it means that we have to kind of put the highest number p in kind of as a power to the lowest prime number, and kind of decreasing numbers going there. And it turns out that you can basically just kind of recursively try to find all these possible factors here, and just, well, if you have these, then let me see, just plug them in, say, see what number, if the number comes, well, okay, sorry, and so given a set of numbers p1 up to p something, then the number of ways to generate something like this is a multifactorial. So this is going, well, okay, so multifactorial it's a simple formula to calculate, and then, so you want to check that actually that multifactorial comes out as k, and on the other hand, you want to calculate, check that this thing comes out as n, and then you just iterate over all possible of these choices of the p's, and this is feasible because this is only about 40,000 of them. Yeah, so that's the problem. It turned out to be one of the easier problems as soon as, I think, as you realize that this is approximately the number, kind of a feasible number to calculate. And I think ITMA was the first one to solve it. And they first had a wrong submission because they were not cutting off at the boundary of kind of the maximum input number. So that gave them a penalty to a time of 20 minutes, but then they afterwards quickly solved it.
So we can say that after 1 hour, 8 teams have solved this problem on 26 tries. So quite a lot of failed submissions.
right. But it's actually only the second most solved problem.
Yes. So
Right.
the most solved problems after 1 hour is problem F,
Right.
which 67 successful submissions.
So Derek, is this? I know. Well, I think I know that the judges always have a betting where they
That's right.
predict which problems will be solved first.
I think D was one of the problems that we predicted. I personally chose F.
Well, I think you were right then.
And I was right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, tooting my own horn there.
Right, absolutely. Please do.
Other problems were A and J that we thought might be the first to be solved.
Oh wow, because J, let's see here, J has
Jay
not
was
been
Jay was
only
solved
two
by
solutions.
Maryland.
Two
Yeah.
solutions. A has got 3 solutions, whereas F got 67.
Yep.
Right.
Nice.
So F is definitely the most solved problems. There's of course some level of snowballing effect here. As soon
Absolutely,
as
yes.
15 teams solve problem F, then everybody else goes for that one, even though it might not be the easiest one. So
And the interesting thing is, I believe A is actually the easiest problem, but there's no snowballing effect because it's deceptive.
right.
If you actually realize it's an easy problem, you can just bang it out no problem, but the teams aren't looking around and seeing a whole lot of A balloons around it.
Right. That's very interesting. This is why I love having the judges in here because you get the you get to hear the inside story of how they're trying to fool the teams.
So actually, we have this, what we call an activity graph, where we can see how many teams are actually working on each of the particular problems. So what we can see here is that a lot of teams actually starting working on A, but then and also on D, and then as soon as they started solving F, basically the whole crowd jumped to problem F, which is now the most worked on problem together with problem D. But we can also see that a lot of teams are working on problem J and problem A. So hopefully they will realize the problem A is easy and start solving it.
We'll see.
We see that ITMO in the lead, they are now started working on problem C, but they also have a solution on problem J on the way. So they're definitely pipelining. And would you say that C or J are one of the easier problems, Derek?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
C is fairly easy.
Okay, so ITMO is doing the right thing. Still in the lead on 5 problems is St. Petersburg, ITMO. They haven't solved anything else since last time we looked at them, but they are working on problem J, and I think we should expect them to solve their 6th problem pretty soon. They have been working on it actually been working on it on and off. It was the 3rd problem they started working on, and they worked on it for a long while. And then they switched to problem H, solved that one. They switched to problem C, solved that one. Now they're back to J. They have worked on it ever since they got the last one in. I think they might get one more pretty soon. So they're in the lead. We have on 2nd place still National Taiwan University. But now they're on 5 solved problems. Since last time we saw them, they've solved problem J that ITMO is working on, and problem A. So they now have, they're now working on problem H. They tried it once, and it was a wrong answer. I don't know much more about what was wrong with it, but that's what it was. So that's our 2nd place. In 3rd place, we have Shanghai jiao Tong University, which has also gone up to 5 by solving recently. Well, just after we looked up, and they solved A and F in quick succession, and then they solved problem C recently, which brings them up to 5. They are currently working on. What are they working on? I can't really make this out here. They're working on problem B. Interesting. That's not what the others are working on. Okay, so that's the top 3 teams, all on 5, and. Let me just do a quick update here. Yep, we still only got 3 teams on 5 problems. We got Tokyo in 4th with 4. Then there's a bunch of 3 problems teams. Still University of Warsaw, a little bit surprising on 2 problems in 10th place. They have started working on problem. They have submission on G and D. G is supposedly, according to the judges, one of the harder problems, whereas D is supposed to be easy, but they had some index bug there, which they found, but still. So I still do expect Warsaw to jump up a little bit. Our next guest will be Bjorn Strustrup, and even though I'm Swedish and he is Danish, I'm sure I screwed up that pronunciation. But welcome in the studio.
Yeah, thank you, många tack.
Många tack, verkligen.
Hi, Björn, and we are very glad to see you here. And for me, as an employee of a company of developers, it's an honor to speak with you as the inventor of C++. And first of all, we want to ask you about, well, how do you think how C++ could be useful for participants, and how it will help them to solve their problems?
Okay. First, I'd like to say that I'm enjoying myself immensely, and it's fun to be here. And well, I've been seeing a little bit of the town too, and it's great. I think C++ helps in a couple of ways. One, whatever problem they're working on, they need to work on their algorithms and their data structures. And C++ is really good at directly and efficiently representing both algorithms and data structures. And if there's any performance aspect of this, C++ will help. You can tweak for machine architecture things, but mostly you don't have to. So basically, if you have a good solution, you can express it directly. That's what C++ was designed for, and that's what it can do for these guys. There's some decent libraries too, that helps.
And why do they have choice between Java and C++, only two languages?
I don't know. It used to be, I think, C and Pascal, and then nobody did Pascal anymore, and C++ more or less took over C. And then the reason for adopting Java, well, there was a lot of Java hype, and a lot of the big companies were on the Java side because they claimed it could lead to cheaper software and less pay for programmers. But it didn't disappear. It's now almost 15 years since Sun claimed that C++ would be totally killed in 2 years. They're a bit slow.
What is the current kill speed of C++?
I haven't heard that claim for a long time.
Me neither.
Once you make that a few times and it doesn't go away, people stop.
Right, I guess. So we were thinking one thing here while you're here. I don't know how much time you have, but Fredrik Heinz, the head of the analyst group, has actually picked up a few interesting code snippets from the teams, and we thought it might be interesting to see. Is that your phone? To see your comments on how your creation is being used here, because this setting, a programming condition, is very different from many other.
It is.
Right, because maintainability means nothing.
Yes.
Speed means everything. Correctness means everything, but nothing else matters.
Well, correctness is good in all circumstances.
Right.
Despite claims to the opposite, performance matters in a lot of areas today. But of course, maintainability is not key when you have a 3-hour exercise.
Right, it's definitely key, but there are other things. I mean, you prefer to keep your code very short and simple.
Simple.
Because you have to debug it.
Just show me the code.
There's code in there.
Yeah, so actually we have a number of things we picked out here. So this is, for example, the code by St. Petersburg State University for problem K. So this was the binary tree problem that Tommy was presenting before.
Yeah.
So they actually do have a tree data structure here. So they are creating real data structures.
Yeah.
They have a number of
nice
functions.
Constructors. I saw a fair amount of constants up above.
Exactly.
A few check functions there.
And then we have an interesting 5-dimensional tree array here. So they're doing some kind of, I don't know, dynamic programming or something
I've been working on a in-dimensional matrix class that would have helped them here. It's a bleeding shame we don't have that standard.
So when will that come in the standard?
Ask the standards committee. They're very conservative, but there's one in my latest book that they could have saved themselves a bit of work here.
And then we see that they actually use a switch case here to do all the different. So Tommy said it was this pre-order, in-order, and post-order. So they actually loop over all these possibilities and then have separate code for handling each of these cases.
Yeah, the code looks dissimilar enough so that they have something like that.
Yes. So actually, from my perspective, this is an example of well-structured code, where it's actually, you have data structures, you have functions, it's not just one big blob.
It's quite readable.
Yes.
What team was that again?
That's St. Petersburg State University on problem K.
Okay, St. Petersburg. So they got the stamp of approval from the creator.
Whatever, yeah. And,
So,
yeah.
I hope I said it right. Yeah. And then actually we had the first source code, this first submission by the National Taiwan University that was solved after 10 minutes. So here we have a more, traditional, I would say, world finals solution, which basically just one solve function and one loop, looping over all the things. And
that's right.
so this is much harder to read and understand.
As far as I can see, there's a security problem there, but that's not going to worry in this particular context.
We should tell the juries that they need to catch that next time.
They've got an inline function. My
Yeah.
I doubt that it matters actually.
Probably not.
But maybe they measure. Yeah, that's just a traditional bunch of loops.
Yes. And then this is the. I think there's also National Taiwan University on problem C. So this is this problem that is solved with maximum flow.
Sure. Simple,
so we see here they use the DINIC.
Simple arch class, the flow class, a bunch of functions.
Exactly. So here they actually have a class for the flow algorithm with a number of internal algorithms corresponding to the different major steps in this push relabel type maximum flow algorithm.
Yeah, there's very little you can say about code in this kind of time because, of course, I can't follow the logic of the actual algorithms in real time. So,
but it does, in my opinion, it does look fairly different. The competition kind of code looks fairly different from, real code that you're maintaining.
Yeah.
For real, but it's just interesting.
But for competition code, this is quite readable.
Oh, this is very good.
Yes. So I mean, we tried to select those kind of problems where it could actually follow it.
Right.
We didn't look for the worst cases.
Yeah.
We could probably find some of those as well.
For presentation code, you probably factor out a few functions so that you could see the individual operations better. But
right.
Hey, for just getting it down, three guys who knows each other very well and such, it's different.
Yeah, there are no points for beauty here. So.
But we compared code with music previously with some of our guests, and somebody told that it's like Rolling Stones, somebody said it's classical music. And from your point of view, code written on C++, for example, what kind of music is it?
Oh God, the problem is there's so many different styles, so I was be tempted to say all of the above. I would have my preferences, and I think the cleaner, simpler code would be more classical, but there's a lot of flexibility there, and people use it, and sometimes they use it to good use. I mean, some of the code really close to the hardware is, that'll be a rather screechy music, but boy, the notes come fast.
I think the metaphor is breaking down somewhere around here, but
yes.
Maybe it's for people with mathematical way of thinking, thinking through metaphors is too more hard than for people with different kind of.
This
thinking.
code is much more mathematical than average code, as it were.
Right.
Thank you, and I'm here ringside in the closing moments with Michael Levin of Yandex to ask the maybe obvious question: why does Yandex support Icpc? Why do we put our money into making this event happen?
So the story starts in my own story. I was here at this event in 2007 and 2008 two times and won bronze and silver medals. And a lot of people who have also won this kind of competitions are my friends, and they work in the world in the companies like Yandex, Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. And all those companies are like running and grabbing such people, and everybody wants these winners to work at their company. So it is very logical for Yandex to support this competition. By the way, this is not the only competition we support. It's like more than 5 years that Yandex supports the ACM community on the level of regionals and sub-regionals and different training camps. We, for example, support the most famous camp in Petrozavodsk, from which a lot of winners of the World Finals, not only from Russia, but for example from Poland, are coming. So we support ACM community for a long time, and we believe that this is still one of the main sources of the talented and most talented programmers in the world and in the country.
Petrozavodsk is a tough gig, they say. Hard camp.
Yeah, it's some say that the level of Petrozavodsk is similar to the level of the World Finals, and even Bill Poucher visited this camp at some point when he knew that there is some strange Russian thing in Petrozavodsk where they train the champions, and when he went there, he appreciated the level of the teams and of the teachers, the lecturers, the former champions training the next generation of teams.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The contest is over. The 77th Annual International Collegiate Programming Contest World Final, sponsored by IBM, are over.
But we're now down to the best of the best of the best. And we move to currently in 4th place. Bill?
Well, you know, we had a little glitch with the resolver last year. And I know there's been a lot of work to make sure that it worked absolutely right and all the numbers were perfect.
Bill, it's not done yet. Why don't you wait till it's over?
And I just wanted to affirm to you that we think it's perfect.
Thank you. So, in 4th place currently, National Taiwan University with 8 problems solved and 1 pending run. So they're guaranteed a gold medal. Let's just see which position they're going to end up. Let's take a look at that medal, at that pending run. Unfortunately, it's a no, but what that does mean is National Taiwan University.
National Taiwan University is gold medalist on 4th place and first to solve problem F. Welcome to the stage. First to solve problem F, gold medalist, National Taiwan University. Welcome, gold medalist of the 37th ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest World Finals, sponsored by IBM. Welcome to the stage, gold medalist, 4th place, National Taiwan University. Please line up to get your medals, to get your plaque. This is gold medalist, a team of National Taiwan University, 4th place in this 2013 ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. Take stage back, and John, let's continue.
Okay, the top 3 in the world. Notice that everyone has pending runs. Okay, currently in 3rd place, the University of Tokyo with 3 pending runs. Let's take a look at the first pending run. Oh, it's a no, okay? But they have another pending run, so let's take a look at that one. That one is unfortunately a no. But they've got another pending run with 8 problems solved and a pending run. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, that's a no, and what that means, Roman, is?
It means that University of Tokyo is our gold medalist. We're also first to solve problem B. Welcome to the stage, the University of Tokyo, gold medalist, and first to solve problem B. Welcome to the stage, the University of Tokyo, gold medalist of the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest World Finals, sponsored by IBM. University of Tokyo team, please enter the stage. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the team of the University of Tokyo for the gold medalist in our competition in the World Finals of the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest, sponsored by IBM. The University of Tokyo got gold medals. Take your medals, turn around for a picture, and congratulations. Congratulations to gold medalist, the University of Tokyo. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations, University of Tokyo, gold medalist. They're in the third place. We have 2 more to go. John?
We have 2 to go, and we have 3 pending runs in here. Okay, currently in second place with 8 problems solved and a pending run, Shanghai Tong University. Well, let's get the suspense over with. Let's find out. Oh, it's a yes. It's a yes. Okay? But it is the case that their score is still lower. And so, Roman, what that means is
that Shanghai Tong University are gold medalists and Asian champions. So welcome to the stage. First to solve problem K, Asian champion and gold medalist, Shanghai Tong University. Second place. They were first to solve problem K, and they're Asian champions. They're gold medalists of this World Finals of ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest 2013 that is sponsored by IBM and hosted by ITMO in St. Petersburg. Welcome to the stage. Congratulations. Second place and gold medal goes to Shanghai Tong University team. Congratulations. Congratulations. Take your picture. Congratulations. Congratulations. First to solve problem key. Asian champions, gold medalist, Shanghai Tong University on a second place. Congratulations. Congratulations. Now, line please.
Well, there's not a lot of suspense left, right? So we're done, so we might as well go home. Oh, no, wait, one more thing. In first place with 2 more pending runs. Let's look at the first run. It's a yes, so they move up.
Oh, yeah.
And the second run, unfortunately, that one's a no, but it doesn't matter. Defending world champions, Roman.
St. Petersburg National Research University of IT Mechanics and Optics. 2013 world champions, European champions. First to solve problem D, first to solve problem E, first to solve problem I. They beat them all. They're 2013 world champions. Welcome to the center of the stage. Team of St. Petersburg National Research University of IT Mechanics and Optics takes first place. They're also European champions. They're first to solve problem D, first to solve problem E, and first to solve problem I. Congratulations. Go to the center of the stage to get your awards. Congratulations. Congratulations to St. Petersburg National Research University of IT Mechanics and Optics, who are world champions of the 2013 ACM International Collegiate Programming Award. And now we have something special here. We have Let's take a picture first of our world champions of the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest. We need a really nice shot of them. They did such a great job to win this title of 2013 world champions. Let's take a shot. Smile. Look, you deserved it. You are the world champions at this competition. You beat them all. You did it. So take your shot. Let me first take this cup and present it to the world champions of the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest World Finals. Here is your cup. There's world champions of the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest. You can take it. Congratulations, you deserve it. Put it above your head. Congratulations. Congratulations.